trust your crypto assets to centralized exchanges that actively sell your private information and front run your trades? Would you like to buy and sell your assets without any middlemen, intermediaries, or robots? Do you like paying slippage, fees, and having the price go up as bots steal from you on low liquidity decentralized exchanges? The solution is nodemarket.io. Set your guaranteed buy or sell price. No middlemen, no slippage, no bots ever. Buy or sell 1, 10, or even 10 million tokens, and you never have to worry. OTC trades are between you and the seller or buyer, guaranteed by audited smart contracts and no human middlemen. Nodemarket.io. Do you trust your
The turkeys.
It makes my day every time I see it.
It's
Hear
good.
It. I love it.
It's definitely pleasing.
It's
Not for the
pleasing.
turkeys.
Those
Not
poor
for the
turkeys.
God. So I'm reading about. I'm gonna get a kitty. Okay, I have my kitty. It's a girl.
Obviously.
She goes and has play dates.
Yep.
But that's not like a permanent thing. Like play dates are fun and all that, but she needs like a permanent brother. So I'm getting another cat, but I have to get the same breed because these are kind of wild cats. So I'm going to get a slightly bigger one because to like kind of be her bodyguard or whatever.
Yeah,
But
I like that.
She's already kind of big, but he's going to get real big. So that this one, to make them work together, you have to like talk to breeders and all this kind of stuff. So this particular one, I think his brother in the last litter is 7 months old and he's already 35 pounds.
That's not a cat. That's a tiger.
They're in the big cat class. So he's what's called an HP F1 Savannah. He is 85% serval.
Oh my gosh,
He's
dude.
a beast. If you ever want to see how big they get, just look up HP F1 Savannah. And those mother effers. But I was looking at the diet. I say, okay, what am I going to feed this sucker? And
Yeah, it's basically a freaking leopard. What is this?
It's the smallest of the big cats.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're big, but they're badass, and they're very cuddly and stuff. If you raise them cuddly, right? If you go fish them out of the wild, yeah, they're used to murdering stuff and eating it. So that's what they're. But you feed it raw food. And then I was reading, I was like, God, that seems kind of crazy. And actually, all cats should be on a raw food diet, not just these wilder cats. People that have these domesticated cats and they feed them this kibble and all this bullshit with corn in it, it's tantamount to feeding your cats McDonald's every day. It's bad for their urinary tract. It's bad for their digestive system. You basically have to feed them raw food, or you need to order raw food. And they need to eat it because the bacteria in raw food that we like, this kind of stuff, cats process meat so quickly that bacteria doesn't touch them. They also have a more acidic digestive system. I've had to familiarize myself with all this kind of dietary, because you don't want to get one of these cats and then just feed them like Jabba the Hutt.
No, I'm looking at some of these Savannahs, dude. Some of them are as big as like the owner's torso, like all the way from like the torso to the top of the head. These things are bad looking.
Has anybody in the chat, do you guys know what Savannahs, what high percentage Savannahs look like? I'm sure some of you do, because I know that there's a few cat people here, but they're in the big cat class.
That's so crazy. Where do you source these? Where do you get them?
So there's a place called Luxury Savannahs out of Las Vegas, and they're very careful. They're very they're one of these breeders where like, even if you see a cat, they interview you. You can't just get one. And then also you can't just get one because they're not so cheap. They are, a lot, about the size of a kind of a medium, anyway, they're a lot, but they don't eat their owners, Joseph. This isn't Tiger King, God. No, but they, Brandon, do you have a picture? Can you put up a picture on your computer just so people can see what these things look like?
Yeah, let me share. Hold on. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go this route.
Chocolate foam cold brew is so good.
Why?
God,
Why won't you let me share my screen?
I don't
Here
know.
we go. Share that. Boom. Bam. All right. That's the cats that I'm looking at right here. Let's pull it up. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Holy crap, dude. Look at all those. Okay, so this one, look at this one right here that I have pulled up on Instagram. This is Melissa Morris and her F1 and F2 Savannah.
Oh, those are F1s and F2s. Those are small.
Those are small. Okay.
If you
so
look at what it's an HP high percentage F1.
So this is HP F1. So let's type in, hold on, HP high percentage F1.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you have a car here, but this one's on a leash. It looks like the size of a mountain. Hold on a second.
Yeah, they stretch.
Wait,
to
look
about,
at this one.
Some of them are about 4.5 feet.
Jeez. Okay, dude, look at this dude. Yeah, right. That's photoshopped.
No, it might not be.
Oh, man.
They get big, but again, anyway. It's not for people that are not used to cats.
That's crazy.
But anyway, we'll get off that.
Yeah,
the
those
reason
are
I
cool.
was thinking
Sorry.
about that is when I took this trip, I see a lot of similarities when you're doing research, like any kind of research. So while I'm doing this research, I spent, I don't know, 10, 15 hours just reading about cat diets and things like this. So I'm thinking, can I implement these things for my cat? Because she's a Serval and a Highland Lynx hybrid. And my buddy's cat is a Bengal and a Lynx hybrid. That's why they all get along, because they're all kind of a little bit wild. But I just realized that their diet. So I'm digging in, doing all this research. And then I get someone to email me like, yo, man, where's my tokens? I'm like, have you looked on Etherscan? You just type in Etherscan, man, and you just put your wallet address in there. I'm like, it's not there. I promise you. I'm like, okay. Click, copy, paste, click. It's the second transaction.
Yeah, so you're starting to realize what my life's like.
Oh, Christ on his cross.
Times 32.
So I want people just to realize, and I took some crap from this. I was in one of the hypercycle chats. I'll jump in there every now and then. And someone was asking a bunch of questions, Rube, day one questions. And I said, listen, I respect that you're coming in the space. You're going to invest your money and all this. If you're asking these kinds of questions, you don't need to be investing money. You need to go backwards. Well, look, Etherscan. Yes, Conan, Etherscan always has it. Another bit there is that, when Coinbase tried to jack me for, $10,687.32, they could say they never got the tokens until I gave them the links where they moved the tokens to two different wallets inside Coinbase. And then the money just appeared in my account with no response. So the thing about these distributed systems, these distributed ledgers, you can't fake, there's no cheating it. If you did an ERC20 transaction, if you did a transaction on Cardano or Bitcoin or any of these ledger protocols, it's there in perpetuity forever. You can't scam, you can't pull thief. I mean, you can do a confident scam and talk someone out of something, but the record of all the transactions is there. And I'll tell you this, in the future, if you haven't gone to a Tor browser, in the future, the governments of the world are going to just do their research, probably using GPT-6, and they're going to take every transaction and propagate out every transaction, and all the little tendrils and fingertips. And if you've done anything wrong, they're going to come knocking at your door. And they're going to say, this is exactly what you did. This is exactly what you owe us. Tell us we're wrong. And you better have some goddamn good arguments, because the ledger does not lie, and it will tell you the truth. So
it's easy to see everything on the ledger. We're talking NFTs. You can see NFTs. You can see the gas fee on every single transaction. You can see in a swap. You can see how many times it swapped before it actually finalized your swap. So you can see so much stuff. So it's easy peasy.
They are actually hypoallergenic. meaning you could use them to clean your windows, your floors, whatever. No, they're if you're allergic to cats, you will not be allergic to these cats. The allergens in which is the proteins and the dander and their fur and stuff like that, that is a function of domesticating cats. You would not sneeze around a tiger. You wouldn't do much around a tiger. He'll just eat you. But he wouldn't make you sneeze. Not for those reasons. All right. I do want to do something here. So we talked a little bit. I'll go into more detail.
Is gas okay? Are you breaking the system right now?
You mean the 150?
Yeah, 157, Nick. I can't do anything. Gosh.
No, Ethereum's fine. I saw another article. I was going to go over it. There was another article where Vitalik Buterin was again saying, well, layer 2s are scaling Ethereum just fine. So again, Vitalik telling the world very clearly and obviously, as he's done over and over, Ethereum has no plans to meaningfully scale. They do not care. They're rich and don't give a shit. This should be beyond obvious at this point. I don't know anybody that thinks Vitalik's over there like coding in like, come on, man. Anyway, while Brandon's gone, while he can't hear us, I'm going to show you guys something. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I can see. I come back on just in time. What is this? Dude, that looks dope.
That's a badass. Is that not a badass
Look at that
turkey?
Thing.
Yeah.
That's the coolest turkey I've ever seen.
It's a badass turkey.
Hold on a second. What is 100 okay.
What? Oh yeah, the Gwei. Yeah, forget about Ethereum gas fees right now. Don't do shit.
No, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at this turkey. This turkey's dope.
Oh, this turkey's badass. Anyway, this turkey represents what we're gonna do for the rest of November, which is because it's already. I'll tell you why I decided to do this now.
Wait, what?
We were gonna do this over the weekend and then into Thanksgiving. But since people have already started arriving, my buddy's friends have already started arriving and looking for couches to sleep on for Thanksgiving, which seems a little bullshitty if you're arriving like a week early. Like that's just whatever. But
they got there a week early.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They're like, hey, Thanksgiving. I'm like, Thanksgiving's not till late next week, you dick. Anyway, so we're gonna do our 2 or more for 2 or more. And remember over Halloween when we did the 2 for 2, like get to node market NFTs, get to hypercycle node licenses. So this is going to be same thing. 2 or more gets you 2 or more. But just remember, keep it. It's got to be even numbers. Even.
So for example, if I buy 3, how many free NFTs? I get 2. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I buy 4, though,
you would get 4.
Okay, I'm doing all the math.
If you buy
in my
5,
head.
you get 4. If you buy 6, you get 6. If you can't do the math, it's definitely not for you.
Did we talk about this?
Anyway, that's what we'll do, our little turkey specialty thing, and that'll go into effect. All right. I think there was only one person that bought 2 yesterday. So if they can hear us, we'd probably extend that backwards one day so they don't feel like they got screwed.
I did see that. I saw that purchase.
There was a 2. Anyway, okay.
Yep.
So that's that. Let's go.
Leave that turkey on the screen. That looks so cool.
It's a badass turkey. It is a super badass turkey. All right, let's do this. We got some AI news. We have a little bit of crypto news. There's a whole slew of ETFs coming. So we'll get into that a little bit. But first, I think the AI news. Okay, so what's going on in AI world? Well, I'll tell you. Let's see. OpenAI is doing some recruiting. Man, OpenAI is doing a lot, like a lot.
With them recruiting from Google's like direct competition with Microsoft, though. What the heck? Can they do that?
Well, remember, OpenAI and Microsoft are buddies.
Yeah, they're buddies. They're like $10 billion buddies.
Yeah. So OpenAI is reportedly enticing top AI researchers from Google because remember, Google has all the deep mind guys, many of them that left or that kind of their, I don't know what you would call it, their evolution came from working for Ben Gortzel. Many of them were in his PhD program. Anyway, so you have a bunch of researchers that OpenAI is trying to seduce from Google to join them with very lucrative packages as high as $10 million per year. Let me just drink this delicious $17 cold brew.
So, do you know how much money that is?
Dude,
$10 million.
if anybody here doesn't
you talk
think
about believing in a future.
if you don't think AI is coming in a big way, you're on the crack. Anyway, you don't want to be on crack. Yeah. Well, God, I was watching Rick and Morty and they were like, oh, this is gross, like a crack house is like dirty. And then they go into another room like, oh, now this is clean, like a cocaine house. Like, yeah, anyway. OpenAI's recruiters are focused on luring senior AI talent at Google, working on models like Gemini, which still is kind of late to get out of the starting blocks because I think every time Gemini is ready to launch, OpenAI one-ups them and they're like, crap. So it's like they're always
because OpenAI is already ahead of everybody so far.
Yeah. They're already training GPT-6 probably. Anyway, the supersized offers of like mini currency units come as OpenAI nears completion of a major employee stock sale that could triple its valuation. AI chip projects, including Microsoft's Athena and AMD's M1300X, could provide hardware advantages to OpenAI versus Google's TPUs. Think true AGI when you start thinking about that. Anyway, the relevance is essentially there's this race for teams to push out their large language models and now their large multimodal models, their LLMs. But there's also this tug of war for top AI talent. And like in crypto, one of the reasons it's not so easy to just spin up a new project is because all of the talent has already mostly aligned with big companies and they're rich. And so you're like, well, how much would it take to hire a good AI researcher away from a company? Well, 10 million a year is a lot. I think that's a pretty good, I think it's more than we make, man.
The thing is, how much could these guys honestly know more than like a regular engineer though?
Well,
because
I don't think it's that so much. I think there's a limited number of these guys and girls and pronouns, because I'm sure some of them are whatever. And I think it's, since let's say there's 20 good players in the league, if you can pluck 2 or 3 from their team, that could reduce their efficacy by 30%. Right? Like there's just only so many good individuals in this space. And 3 or 4 years from now, it won't matter anyway, because we will have probably reached AGI. And once we're at general intelligence, the robots will be smarter than all of us and our contributions will be muted and silly. But for right now, every tiny little tactical advantage you can get, I think is very valuable. Anyway.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the company that comes out on top in all this is going to dominate the whole world, right?
Whoever gets it first, probably. That's why you don't want it to be some weapons design company or supporter thereof. Anyway, let's see. Hollywood actors strike ends with deal on AI use. So basically, the SAG-AFTRA actors strike has finally ended, which is good for LA because in Los Angeles right now, up until this strike ended, we had a higher unemployment than during the Great Depression. I said it. So did math. Anyway, the strike finally ended. They reached a tentative deal following months of bullshit negotiations over the AI use and streaming residuals. It was mostly over streaming residuals. They throw the AI thing in there, but that was not the big deal. The big deal was streaming residuals, and the AI was just a part of it. The 118-day strike was the longest in Hollywood history, halting, well, just about every production. And a major sticking point, one of the sticking points was the reuse of AI scans to digitally recreate actors without consent or compensation, which obviously they lost on. The studio's previous proposal allowed unlimited scans of veteran actors post-mortem, meaning you could bring dead actors back to life and use them in your stuff, which the union opposed. And I agree. That's kind of shitty. Like, grandma's dead. You're not going to use her in your ads and not pay somebody. So anyway, I think the studios put that up there so that they could give it away. So basically they said, we want something ridiculous. And you're like, no way. And then they concede it and they say, look, we gave you this. You're like, You didn't give us that. That's like in these bills where it's like, okay, we want to help the homeless and also give nuclear weapons to 6-year-olds. And they're like, well, if you concede your part of it, we'll concede the nuclear weapons to 6 years old. You're like, that's not a thing, man. That's like a bullshitty thing you throw up there just to concede it, to say that you gave concessions. You
That's just like the pork.
pieces
Yeah,
of
that's
shit.
the bills that they sent through Congress. Same thing.
It's like, God. Anyway, the deal finally concedes some restrictions and payments around AI model use. Comes on the heels of the Hollywood writers getting their deal done, which restricts the studio's use of AI scripts. Now, this is a slippery slope. It's the writer. I'm not going to get into the whole crux of it, but basically the writers are threatened because they think, well, what if AI writes scripts and they're better than what we write? Newsflash, they are better than what you write. Anybody go and see Marvels this weekend? That movie, the new, oh Lord.
Is anybody going to see it? I'm guessing it was bad.
I could take a dump on a plate and you could watch that for an hour and a half and get more joy out of it than that movie. It was
that's what
awful.
I expected.
It was awful, and it was uncomfortably awful. Like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's just like, quit the virtue signaling and just have a movie, so we can go enjoy a movie. And anyway,
they're still taking sides versus just having a good movie come out.
Just have a good movie.
It. Yep.
Like,
we're still fighting.
We don't have enough girls in it. Like, but the universe is not all girls. In the same way, the universe is not all guys. Like
that movie's like 95% girls.
And it's the only cool thing was there was these cats that ate people. They had this like tentacles. But that's
that cat's been in other shows too.
And not only that, but that cat was the whole crutch for the whole film because they couldn't actually write an ending, so they just had the cats eat everyone and save them. And it's so dumb. It's so stupid. It's uncomfortably stupid. And then you had all these people signaling like, I watched Marvels and it was awesome. You're like, oh no, you're so stupid. You're embarrassingly stupid. So yeah, the cats were cute. It's true. Not going to say they weren't, but the movie was terrible. And it will definitely stain. It will stain. Okay. That's kind of the major stuff. There's a new generative AI that boosts low performing workers, which is essentially that people that suck at work are finding AI helping them out quite a bit. And that's good. It also tells you that there's a lot of people that probably won't have jobs because, like common sense. GPT-4 Turbo is now live. For those of you that use ChatGPT on your phone, you have data analysis, which is badass, by the way. I used it to make the NFT to equity chart for the digital private clients, because private clients, unlike private clients can trade the NFTs, the node market NFTs, for actual equity in node market. But that's private clients and that's a specific thing. But to do all of that math, I used the data analysis feature with GPT-4 Turbo. It's badass. It's really cool. You can put Excel spreadsheets, turn them into graphs. You can do all sorts of really cool stuff. But anyway, the Turbo model is live now. It seems a lot better than 4, which is hard to you're like, well, 4 is already good, dude. Have you, Brandon? Have you messed with any of the data analysis stuff? It's wicked. Yes, I don't think layer 2s are going to be more attractive because of Ethereum not scaling. I think that Ethereum not scaling makes it where you don't have any other choice, but you're going to have to transition to layer 2s. Now, did you guys also hear this, that Kraken is looking to launch their own layer 2? Charles Hoskinson reached out to them on Twitter and said, hey, we'll build your layer 2.
Huh. I thought they already had a layer 2. I thought they already had.
I don't think they have a proprietary layer 2 like what Coinbase did with Base.
Okay.
And if they do, it sucked so bad that they're still fishing for something.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking it up. But yeah, I don't think they do have a layer 2. Nothing like base. Optimism's really good. They basically separated themselves from base to the point where it's like, oh, it's its own thing, but we back it 100%. I
Yeah,
think that's what Kraken would do with Charles Hoskin. Hawks, I think that's
we'll
what he would do.
see. We'll see. Okay.
Although Polygon is it's doing really well lately. And I think it's based on the fact that yeah, it could be a really good layer 2. There is big adoption in Polygon, and I think a lot of people will start transitioning over to something else because right now ETH is a joke. You cannot trade, you cannot do anything
No,
on
it's
ETH.
a dumpster fire mess. Google is in talks to invest in AI startup character.ai, which I think is stupid. It's an AI chatbot startup co-founded by ex-Google employees. Big surprise that Google's looking to invest. Probably that's an investment so that no one else gets a piece of it, even though, again, these are all just features and buttons that OpenAI will add to ChatGPT. So this is Google trying to create AI companions, virtual assistants and shit like that. You're going to be able to spin that up with a click of a button. It's not that interesting. What's interesting about the virtual assistant market is if you can create your own embodiment, your own entity, your twin or whatever, is why I like twin so much. And you own the rights to it. And no one else, they can't click a button and spin up shit. In the same way that all these guys are striking about AI rights, you will own the rights to your digital twin or digital presence. I think that's incredibly valuable. And I think having a bunch of spammy avatars, it looks like a cartoon. Google, that's not innovating. What this is Google buying their buddy's company because of nepotism, and that is what it seems like. I think it's a pretty stupid purchase. Anyway, OpenAI lures a bunch of researchers, and what does Google do? Buy their own ex-employees, part of their shares of their company that makes an avatar face. Like, come on, bro. Like, what a weak ass attempt at
there's better things.
What Google needs to do is put out Gemini and quit bullshitting, bro. Put out Gemini and let it compete instead of telling because what they do, their whole advertising thing is like, Gemini is so much better. Show us. Not yet. Soon, we're going to show you how much better Gemini is. Yeah, let's see it. Not yet, because OpenAI just released 17 new updates.
Well, yeah, I mean, they can't release anything because AI is too good. The OpenAI is too quick.
Jesus, man.
I bet they were getting ready to release every single day, and they're like, oh, crap. Just like you said, they have to go back to the drawing board.
And finally, a bit of, I think everyone knows this, but let me just reiterate. It is that I had the little card, I think, when I was talking to Tufi. The International Agency for Copyright of AI to AI is basically a copyright institution that will, in a bunch of countries are involved. And from what I understand, it's like 40 countries have already signed on, including like the United Nations. Because right now, if I want to get a copyright for some content, if anybody even lays the claim that AI helped me, and by the way, spell check is AI, folks. But if anyone even paints you with that brush, you can't get a copyright. They're like, nope. And you can't prove an unprovable thing, like prove there's no ghosts. All right, Grandma, I can't prove there's no ghosts. I can only prove that no one's ever seen one ever. Nope, not enough. Like, okay, man, here's your voodoo doll. Go in the closet. Anyway, so essentially, this is an agency where if you have done some work or AI has done some work for you, or there's some combination, it's still that you could get a copyright for that. It'd be a different kind of copyright, and you would enjoy different benefits and rights to that. So hypercycle is a big part of that. And this agency is going to launch, and part of the validation and copyright creation, all that's going to run on hypercycle. So,
oh, dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be announced officially December 9th. I guess this is unofficially. And we're unofficially saying what they'll officially announce. So that's going to be pretty cool. And is there everybody, if you don't know what hypercycle is, I'll give you the quick, Oh, matter of fact, I made even like a little mouthy thing for it. Hold on. Where's my little mouthy thing? I did one just because it's people don't really. Okay, here we go.
Hypercycle. Hypercycle enables AI systems to communicate and collaborate efficiently. Currently, this process is slow and costly. Hypercycle improves this by offering a secure global connection system with verifiable identities without depending on centralized parties. It provides a safe platform for AI to interact directly without intermediaries. For more information, go to hypercycle.ai.
Woo! Don't you feel like your brain just exploded with knowledge?
I learned everything I needed to know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's switch gears. You know what? We got to go behind the wall. We'll go behind the wall. We'll talk markets. We got to do our heat map. We got to look at where our brains are at as far as our portfolio, and then we'll answer more specific questions to those kinds of things. So for this momentito, we must bid the publics farewell. And for the rest of you, we will see you behind the proverbial wall, where we will give you all of the secrets that none of the public rubes ever get to see, because you guys are special and they are not.
We're going behind the proverbial wall now to continue the broadcast privately for the digital investors and digital private clients. If you'd like to join us, simply go to nickblacknext.com and subscribe to one of our plans and immediately take advantage of our library of tools, tactics, and information. It's all designed to help you learn, grow, and manage your portfolio like a pro. Join us now.